Marcus and Mikkel, I believe this is your first time at the Media Lab, and I am super excited to hear about your stories and the incredible film that is on display right now, exploring things that I haven't seen very often brought up in this kind of space conversation.
Yeah, no, it's a pleasure to be here today. So my name is Mikkel Owuna. I'm a Nigerian-American multimedia artist and engineer from Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. And Marcus and I are the co-founders of the nonprofit Rainbow Serpent, Inc., which is a collective of Black queer artists interested in the extension and modernization of traditional African knowledge systems, using the interface between technology and visual art as our base. And so I'm going to showcase a few examples of my photography work, which is also incorporated into our practice. So I create this work that you'll be seeing through ultraviolet imaging techniques, and each of the pieces references and thinks about myths from across the African diaspora and how they're a resource for us to re-articulate our understanding of the deep scientific knowledge of these systems and the human body and our connection to the cosmos. This image is entitled The Flying African and references a myth, an African-American myth from the Sea Islands in Georgia, where enslaved Africans were able to escape bondage by taking flight and literally flying through space to return to Africa. And so here you see themes of the primordial womb, the cosmic waters, and also space travel and astral travel within African knowledge systems. This image is entitled The Nomosemi, the Guardian of Space, and references Dogon West African knowledge systems. And within the Dogon creation myth, this androgynous deity, the Nomosemi, was sacrificed at the beginning of creation to create the universe, to purify and heal the universe. And their blood forms all of the planets and the stars. And so here you see the planets and the stars literally spooling forth from the blood on their back. And here we can understand that our connection to the universe is deeply personal, because the universe itself is an animated, living, divine, resurrected being. It's also fascinating within the Dogon cosmology from this West African ethnic group in Mali, the connection and the ritual connection to the Sirius star system. And so I'm sure as many people here know, Sirius is not just, there's a star system with Sirius B, which is invisible to the human eye. The Dogon have been celebrating rituals and calculated the orbital period of Sirius B around Sirius A, and we're doing rituals around this orbital period for thousands of years. And in 1950, this piece is dedicated to a female diviner in Ikozo, who shared with French anthropologists the weight, size, color, and composition of Sirius B, the star that's invisible to the human eye. And in 1990, with the Hubble Space Telescope, her observations were then validated, which again shows the deep knowledge embedded in our African scientific knowledge systems and indigenous knowledge systems. And here's just another image just so you can get a sense of the visual style that working with and excavating within these African myths and knowledge systems.
Okay, my name is Marcus Redd. I'm an independent scholar, multimedia artist, also a traditional African cosmologist based in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania as well. In 2021, Mikkel and I created the film Obi Mbu, The Primordial House, which is on display here down the hall. And I will show just a quick trailer from it and give a little bit more background to another element of our work. Let's see if we can. Okay, so that's a quick 1-minute overview or trailer from a larger 30-minute piece. It's an experimental dance film featuring 2 dancers from the Pittsburgh Ballet Theater, and they are enacting a specific Igbo Nigerian myth about the creation of the world. It follows these 2 figures, Chukwu and Ekenechukwu. We can think of them on one hand as the masculine and feminine polarities of the cosmos. For a more contemporary allegorization, we could think of them as the intersection between, or the interplay between dark energy and dark matter. And in the narrative, these 2 figures exist in perfect unity in and as the primordial blackness of space until the Chukwu figure decides that he wants to portion off a section of space for himself, and which he does in the form of a sacred pillared chamber. He dances in and out of this chamber, performing a secret work. Ekenechukwu's curiosity is piqued by what's happening inside the chamber, so she decides to enter into it unknowingly. In that process, engaging in a taboo that triggers an explosion that opens up a space for creation to emerge. This explosion also martyrs her. Chukwu comes, finds her dead body, and in the process of his grief, he cries tears over her that purify and also resurrect her, and her resurrected body becomes the actual physical, invisible universe in which we live. So that's a quick overview of a very abstract narrative, but there are a lot of interesting scientific components and a lot of scientific complexity embedded in many of the symbolic forms within that story. And again, Mikkel's work and our joint work, we try to use modern media, film, animation, sculpture, performance, in order to highlight some of these narratives and try to provide a format for their preservation and extension into our current world.